Hello guys, so continuing my Ask Ali series, I'm gonna leave the link on this form down below. You can fill in this form, you can ask me a question, and if I choose it, I might make a separate video about this. Alsu is asking, hey Ali, really love your content, thank you. My question is how to incorporate 50s style into the world of today. You know, to find that balance when you're being inspired by that era, even by pinup, but still look relevant as of today. Thank you so much for your question. It's very interesting that you chose the 50s because I think 50s is a very bright period in the 20th century fashion history. It is so bright that it has so many elements that are pretty rare today. Today we have many opposite things. So you're right, actually, when somebody is dressing really 50s, that they are really following every detail of that look that can look slightly clownish, right? Slightly not relevant, as you said. Slightly as if it's a masquerade, like a costume, but not like a real life 50s style. I've seen loads of pictures, and actually once I was listening to a lecture of a pretty famous fashion historian, and then he said that to incorporate vintage style into your look of today, all you need to do is you need to wear shoes, bags, and accessories that are modern. And that's basically it. At the beginning, I was thinking, yeah, he's probably right. But then I started looking on the pictures, and I was looking more and more pictures, and I don't quite agree with him, because I think there are just several other elements that are so much far from us right now. Bright colors, polka dot, and flowers by themselves, those are pretty nice and beautiful and pretty bright prints, right? So everybody can wear nowadays, I don't know, a shirt that is polka dot or a small skirt that is polka dot. But in the 50s, we had new look silhouette pretty often. Not always though, because many women were wearing still very narrow costumes, but more pin-up side of it, and more new look. Also, it created those huge skirt with tiny waist, and when that exaggerated shape that is very not modern today, nobody's walking like that today, not that kind of skirt that would stand up like that, right? So that exaggerated shape by itself, it's already can be slightly too much. If we combine those two elements, red, bright red polka dot, and that new look silhouette, we are getting something really 50s. And this is where we're going more and more into that costume side of the thing. If we have curls, so many women nowadays have curls. If the curls are defined, okay, many women are doing defined curls. It's mostly probably a special head scarf like that, and then that very rounded fringe, I don't know how they call it, that roller at the front. It's very pin-up look, right? So it's pretty rare when you can see somebody's doing that and just going out like that. So that is another very 50s element. So add this to our dress, okay? Now, shoes that have that stripe, it's getting back now. So it's becoming pretty modern nowadays. Let's add it to that look too. Now, let's do very bright makeup. Let's do very huge flick, lashes, very dark eyebrows, thin but dark, and very bright lipstick, red lipstick. Okay, bright makeup. So what? So many women nowadays do that bright makeup, so you can't actually surprise anyone with that. Brows actually can be slightly too much, but anyway, forget about brows. The makeup. Now add that makeup to what we already created. Now the bag. You can choose something very 50s, like very 50s bag. I don't know, the bag with cherries, the bag with flowers, or something like that. You can add it in there too. Now, cardigans. Remember those short cropped cardigans like that. We can also choose a cardigan that it would be a bright color, so we can add it in there. So you see what I mean? When there are too many elements of that time are present in here, and especially the gloves. Many women who are styling those 50s, they are wearing those gloves, shorter gloves, and let's add our gloves in there too. All those elements are 50s. If you're gonna wear them, yeah, you will really look like 50s, you will look really close. So I think this is when it starts becoming too irrelevant, too costumish, and too much. Too bright colors, too noisy, combined with that silhouette. You know, that already, like that, those bright colors and that silhouette is already exaggerated 50s. And if we exaggerate it even more with patterns, bright makeup, and all those other things, that's gonna be too much. Like if you're wearing that silhouette of new look, then probably I would take care, first of all, of making the skirt not as standing, but slightly lower. I would take care of the shoes. Probably I would not take shoes with stripes, but more modern shoes again, maybe more modern bag. Like, look at this girl. So I think that is very cool how she incorporated that slightly new look silhouette dress, but still not that exaggerated, right? It's just still closer to our times. First of all, it has very dark color. The color is not shouting. Her hair is curly, normal, but it's not as blunt cut as in the 50s, slightly more relaxed. Her glasses also probably more modern looking. However, I can imagine somebody in the 50s walking in those glasses. She has bag that probably can be in the 50s too. And that bag has pretty complicated color. That color is not bright, it's not bright green, bright blue, bright red. It's dark and pretty dusty color. It's complicated color. It's not that simple. So it already looks, the whole look already starts looking slightly more modern, elegant, and expensive. Bright lipstick. Okay, this is what is also adding that 50s to the look. Not only the dress outline, but also that thing. Her shoes are also modern. You see what I mean? And also her pose, which is very important because many women who are doing that 50s style, they start poses like that, you know? It's... So not everybody looks super cute with that, right? Because there are women with different bone structure. Nowadays, bodies also have changed a little bit. If a woman is small and super cute with tiny waist and bigger butt, bigger bust, and small hands, and she's standing like that, like a pinup girl, that's a one thing. Like here, for example, this woman has pretty large bone structure. If we compare that to that shirt, for example, because the shirt is very cropped, it has rounded collar here, and it has those pleats, or how you call it, like small drapes here, and short sleeves. All that is creating so much cuteness and shortness to that little piece. So sometimes they can just be too small for some kind of bone structure. That also another thing that we can look at, because in the 50s, if we talk about pinup, it was also very, very much of a short and rounded women. This girl made amazing stylization of the 50s, I think. The only thing I would probably change if she would go like that for every day was probably that roller instead of the fringe. Probably she would just look better with regular bangs. Then everything would kind of fit, because she, first of all, has pretty bright coloration, so she has a lot of contrast in her. So those very bright eye makeup and those bright lips look amazing on her. Now that skirt, it's not super puffy, but it's still very, very 50s, right? So that skirt also has that bright colors, which is great, but the print itself is more modern. It's not as simple. It will be much more simplified look if she had that polka dot, or if she had that, let's say, huge white flowers, let's say, on her skirt. That was simplified and bring it more to a costume area from my viewpoint. So I think just the rest is amazing. On this picture, too much for me. Too much. I would want to make the makeup slightly calmer, not as shouting. Maybe the color of the top, I would make it slightly, I don't know, maybe even a champagne color or cream color or dark blue color, something like that. Not as super bright. Maybe without the bag. Her skin is very delicate color. She's very pale. She's, I think, cooler undertone. That creates that costume effect on her. I think that if that would be slightly more muted and maybe lighter, probably that would look better. This lady, she looks, her bone structure looks more natural to me. So that stiff dress, I think I would make it a little bit less stiff. Her hair is on point. That hat also brings us back to the 50s a little bit too much from my viewpoint. If she would be without that hat, probably I would make that dress just a bit more relaxed, maybe a little bit different fabric and a little bit different tailored. I love this picture. I love that uniform color on her. Her bones look pretty delicate. Nothing is screaming the 50s, it's whispering the 50s. That belt is also very delicate. That belt is hinting us that this is about the 50s. She has that waist emphasis. She has pretty delicate bones, and the belt is pretty delicate. So it all kind of, even though the dress is pretty elongated, and then her shoes are pretty modern. And she uses just plain white color that actually slightly holds back that screaming 50s. And if we look at Dita Fontees, she actually loves that 50s style. And what I noticed, she also is not using all of that over the top. So she's using the elements. She actually has those accessories that are more modern. Sometimes she has those accessories that is more the 50s, but she's not exaggerating that. Also, the colors that she's using sometimes for her outfits are pretty complicated, and they're not as bright and as simple as shouting. It's more expensive colors. She can wear something complicated, velvety purple, or dark blue color, or black with beige, or a lot of blacks actually, or dark blue or dark green. All those colors are very complicated and very rich, intense, and they look more modern because the silhouettes that she is choosing is actually, a lot of them are the 50s silhouettes. Not very often that huge skirt with new look, but because in the 50s there also were some more narrow costumes as well. So yeah, from my viewpoint, if you just take several elements and then incorporate it in your more modern look, then it will be very, very stylish. Just check the shape, check the colors, check the patterns, check the details, such as collars, sleeves, for example. Check the accessories and just get some of them and then just incorporate it in the more modern look. Or make it all but with dull colors, like different colors, more complicated colors, like, I don't know, dusty pinks, for example. Let's just see how it works, because it might work amazing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you very soon. Bye-bye. Subscribe on my Pinterest for 13 boards as an inspiration for the body types. Also, you can subscribe on my Instagram. All the links I'm gonna leave down below. Also, you can become my sponsor or subscribe on my Patreon for some exclusive videos, some early access to these videos, and just if you want to support me and my channel. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.